Fact or fiction? Legends and stories of the undead rising from their graves date back to as early as the 17th century. But it wasn't until 1968, with the release of Romero's Night of the Living Dead, when the zombies we are familiar with dug their way back up from 6 feet under into the hearts of horror junkies. What makes the zombie apocalypse so intriguing is the ability a single virus has to tear down society as we know it. But a virus of such nature couldn't possibly become a reality, right? Fortunately for us, this virus has yet to make its way into society from the big screens. But there have been symptoms seen throughout the medical world that resemble what we see in today's horror films. In this video, we will be looking at how 4 health conditions could potentially bridge fiction to reality through real-life, zombie-like characteristics. Number 1. Rabies. The symptoms of rabies fit right along those of The Walking Dead. Full or partial paralysis, mental impairment, agitation and strange behavior, mania, and finally, delirium. It takes a bit of creativity, but one could put together a rabies patient with an inability to think clearly or communicate, difficulty walking, and manic aggression that makes the form of frequent attacks on humans. Number 2. Leprosy. Considering a common feature of zombies is their rotting flesh and decaying body parts, it would seem like leprosy and its similar sounding symptoms would be a natural inspiration for such stories. Leprosy can cause damage and numbness in its victims, which could cause a slow, shuffling walk that might have inspired the gait that we associate with zombies. The main external symptoms of leprosy is the outbreak of extensive skin lesions, which gives the skin a diseased, decaying appearance similar to that of the common conceptions of zombies. Another aspect that comes along with leprosy is nerve damage, which may make an infected individual less susceptible to damage in the areas where we see damage. Number 3. Kuru. In the 1960s, it was discovered that an indigenous tribe located in Papua New Guinea, known as the Fort People, were getting a rare prion disease known as Kuru. This disease was directly linked with the consumption of infected brains of other humans. When a foreign caught the sickness, they would first become less coordinated and experience uncontrollable tremors and difficulty speaking. Then the tremble would turn into a shaking. An infected individual would burst out into spontaneous laughter, and they would have difficulty regulating their emotions. In the final stage, the individual would no longer be able to stand or even sit. They would have difficulty swallowing and would fail to react to a stimuli. Soon afterwards, they would die. The trembling movement, the consumption of brains, the loss of emotions, and hysteria doesn't get much more zombified than this. Number 4. Cotard syndrome. Cotard syndrome makes one believe that they are dead or that they've never even existed at all. Because of this, it has also been referred to as walking corpse syndrome. There isn't much known as to what causes it, apart from being an underlying disorder to dementia. These individuals tend to have nihilistic beliefs and behaviors and may refuse to acknowledge that they have internal organs, that they can communicate with others, or that life has meaning. This could lead to individuals ignoring human emotions, pain, and consequences, as well as needs, allowing them to act in reckless ways. Another effect of this disorder is poor hygiene, giving them a wretched zombie-like scent. It's hard to think of a world where we have zombies running our streets, but with all the known medical conditions we have documented, we aren't too far off.